Hello class, for our first lecture. So we talk about the object-oriented analysis and design with a unified process. So this is chapter 1, which is the world of the modern systems analyst. So overview. So systems analysis is it basically comprehend information system functions. Okay? So what happens in information system? So like for example, in enrollment, what happens in the enrollment system? Okay, so the student enrolls, registers a subject, adds faculty members to the subject, creates schedule, payments. You check all of that. You get all the functions and the processes. Now you have made some analysis, then there's systems design. So we specify physical implementation to this. So how do we translate this current process with what we can design for the software? And the systems analyst, so is the person that develops information systems. So as we go along the course, we'll be discussing about the unified process, which is the object-oriented analysis and design. So now you're not familiar with object-oriented, so there's some classes, there's some attributes. Then we also have that one here. So as we dive along the course. So the analyst is a business problem solver. Okay? So with your chosen business, for sure there's always a problem. Ang kadalasang nangyayari is, ang dami ng mga papel dito, kailan napupuno ng mga shelves namin. Ang iba, for example, taking orders is taking some time. So those types of things are problems. So, but before that, the systems analyst must be a business problem solver. So, in order to be one, then the systems analyst must have a wide array of backgrounds. So, dapat marunong siyang computer technology. The analyst knows object-oriented analysis and design, and most importantly, curiosity. Why is curiosity needed? So again, there's always no perfect system. There's no perfect process. Curiosity leads us to asking more questions. What more can we do to make things better? And that makes a systems analyst have this chief task, which is to define the problem and present an outline solution. So the challenge here is to develop alternatives consistent with the corporate strategy. So the analyst will develop the system requirements and the design models. And the system design models include the following: the databases, user interfaces, networks, operating procedures, conversion plans, and software classes. So basically here, the systems analyst is the architect of the software. If you compare it with an actual architect designing a house. So parang ganun lang, software lang sa atin. Okay? So this is the analyst's approach to problem solving. So it's kind of similar to what you've had probably when you're in high school. Yung science investigatory project, parang ganun. So we have this types of approach to problem solving. So first, research and understand the problem. So in this phase, you think of being on the shoes of the businesses itself. For example, you have a client that's running a restaurant. So you think of the shoes of the owner, yung manager. Ano yung daily process na meron sa restaurant? Anong ginagawa ng chef? Paano nila ginagawa yung inventory ng mga ingredients nila? Paano nila malalaman kung ilang certain product ang mabebenta nila sa isang araw? Paano nila malalaman kung sakto lang yung inventory nila para sa lulutuing produkto nila? Ano yung problema nila sa pang-araw-araw na operations? Bakit matagal maluto yung pagkain? Ganon. Kasi kadalasan, paano na kung busy? Busy yung restaurant, nagsasabay yung mga orders. Paano natin makikip track yung bawat order? Yung mga ganon. You need to feel on the shoes of your clients or the business itself. Now, as we fill up their shoes, for sure, there are some suggestions that may pop in our mind. So, ano kayong magiging solution natin sa kanila? There are lots of ways to solving a problem. And we verify that this also has a lots of benefits. So for next step, we verify that the benefits of solving the problem outweigh the costs. So maraming klaseng pag-solve ng problem, which yung may enterprise architecture here. So this is one of our projects too. So we verify this because there's lots of solutions. Again, there's a lot of solutions. Pwede tayong mag-offer ng tawag nito ng they can use SAP, which we're gonna discuss yung types of software na ganyan. Yung SAP, yung mga ready-made na ginawa ng mga malaking kumpanya, SAP, that's one example. We can also offer them to have some customized made platform. Pwede ring yung mga standalone na, mga POS for example. So there's a lot of ways. Now here you gotta check ano yung kliyente mo. Malaki ba sila? Kakasimula pa lang ba nila? Or they're already in the business but they're not really on the top level yet. You also check their capability, their revenue. Then, is investing in this expensive? Actually, making a system is actually expensive. So, if they invest this one, is it gonna solve their problem? So, how are they being affected with this in the long run? Especially financially. Is the return worth it? So that's what you have to consider in this phase. Right after this, we define the requirements for solving the problem. Okay? So what are the necessary features that we need? Ano yung mga use cases we need for this system? And now we develop a set of possible solutions and alternatives right after that. And decide which solution is the best and make a recommendation. And one thing that we would consider to decide the best solution, we must always consider one thing: the cost. So here we define the details of the chosen solution, and then we implement a solution. And right after it was implemented, it was deployed, then we monitor to make sure that you obtain the desired results. So iba pa to sa maintenance. Okay? So let's say after a year, ano bang nagbago sa sistema nila? Was it better? Was it better than before? Yung operations nila, mas gumanda ba? Mas lumaki ba yung revenue nila? Mas efficient ba yung pag-conduct nila ng business nila because of your system? So, this is the part that would answer if you've designed the right thing for them. Dito makikita lahat. Kasi 'di ba, kapag gumawa tayo ng bahay, maganda naman 'yan pagkatapos gumawa. Masaya tayo. Uy, maganda yung bahay. Pero malalaman lang natin 'yan kung matibay yung bahay na 'yan after time has passed. Kapag may dumating ng mga bagyo, mga earthquakes, kahit mga paglakas na ulan, may iba na kahit konting lindol lang, naaapektuhan na yung structure ng bahay, konting ulan lang, matutulo na yung tubig galing sa atip, mga ganun. So that's what we mean here. We monitor to make sure that we obtain the desired results. Systems that solve business problems. So system makeup is a set of interrelated components. And the system purpose is to basically solve business problems. So now functional decomposition just means divide system into components to simplify analysis. So dito na papasok yung mga supersystem and subsystems. So overall, this one here is called the overall production system. So yung general na tawag niya sa lahat, so that is called the supersystem. And inside that, there are different types of subsystems. What are the systems that make up each other to be able to be called a production system? So sa production system, merong inventory management, manufacturing system. So sa customer maintenance system, subsystem, the catalog maintenance subsystem, order fulfillment subsystem, and order entry subsystem. So information systems is basically that collects, processes, stores, and outputs information. And a subsystem is a component of another system. So the components also of the information system are the hardware, software, inputs, outputs, data, people, and procedures. So the super system is a collection of systems. And the automation boundary separates the automated part of system from manual. Okay? So question, if we automate the system, yung manual, what if kung in-automate natin yung manual na sistema, does it mean that we solve the problem? Yes or no? Those who answered yes, mali. Automating the manual system doesn't necessarily mean that we solve the problem o yung mali sa sistema ng proseso. Kasi kung mali yung manual tapos in-automate ng natin, bale, translate natin just to the automated. But still, the processes itself, the flow of the system is still the same. And now you need to do something to fix that one, which is called systems re-engineering. You have to take note of that. Systems re-engineering. So we check first ano yung mga naging problema sa manual process that we have to remove, that we have to modify so that it won't happen again in the automated system. So again, these are just the components of the information system, yung nasabi natin kanina. So okay, so yun na yung sabi ko kanina. Okay? So automating the system does not solve the whole system. Okay? And there's a boundary between the two of them. Yung automation and yung manual. Okay? Kaya yung sabi ko, systems re-engineering. So the types of information systems. So maraming types of information systems. And business systems center around transactions. So systems must adapt to changing technology because technology has been rapidly changing. Okay? So you won't want your system to be obsolete. Kaya merong systems updates palagi. And if there's new technology and tingin natin na pag-iiwanan na tayo, naging slower na siya, ganon, and there's a better technology out there, then yun yung time na gagawan siya ng bagong platform. So these are the types of information system. So merong decision support system, executive information system, management information system, and transaction processing system, and communication office support system. So these are the types of information system. So now we go to the required skills of the systems analyst. So analysts manage issues ranging from technical to interpersonal. And analysts must commit to lifelong learning. So learning never stops if you're a systems analyst. So knowledge and skills required of a systems analyst. So dapat meron siyang both knowledge and skills, technical, business, and people. Okay? So we're gonna discuss each one by one. So again, what's the difference between knowledge and skills? If you don't know, yung knowledge is something that you know. Nasa utak mo na yun. Okay? Yun yung knowledge. So basically, yung knowledge ay yung facts, information ng isang bagay. When the skills, you actually do it hands-on. Yun lang yung pinagkaiba. So you actually do the knowledge itself. Okay? So now here, technical knowledge and skills. So analysts should grasp many types of technology. So analysts should be informed of tools and techniques. So the common software tools for technicalists ay yung IDE, kung saan tayo nagsusulat ng code, and case tools. So yung case tools is that you actually make the platform without actually writing code. So parang pwedeng drag and drop lang and then boom, you have your system. So the common techniques here are the following, which is your project planning, yung cost-benefit analysis, and the architectural analysis. So now for business knowledge and skills, so analysts should understand organizational structure from top to bottom, from the daily workers, from the yung white collar and blue collar workers until pagpasok dun sa mga admin, mga ganun. So analysts should understand business concern, and many analysts formally study business administration. Okay, so to fully have a grasp on how an actual business functions. Okay, so it doesn't mean that marunong ka lang mag-code. That's enough for you to be a good systems analyst. So again, yung sabi ko sa inyo kanina, you need to be on the shoes of the actual business. And learning about business will actually help you a lot attain that one. So people knowledge and skills. Because this is very important because knowledge of people centers around thinking and feeling. Okay? So in this way you can get to know the people you talk about. You can having knowledge among people can be used to adapt systems to users. So basically, makakatulong ka na imagine paano maging chef. And you gain that knowledge and skill by actually talking to that person. Okay? And this is the most critical skill, is your ability to listen empathetically. Yun yung pinaka-importante. Wala kang magagawang magalang sistema kung hindi ka marunong makinig. Okay? So, where are we basing our whole systems? By basically to the people who actually do the jobs daily. Okay? And we must have the ability to listen to them. Next, the environment surrounding the analyst. So first, occupational environment is not fixed. Ibig sabihin nito, si systems analyst hindi lang palagi nasa office. Pwede siyang nasa restaurant, kung yung kliyente nila. Pwede rin nasa field. Basically nasa field palagi, mga ganyan. Pinupuntahan yung mga clients. Nag-check kung paano yung mga sistema, mga ganyan. Pwede yung nasa bahay lang, mga ganyan. Ayun yung occupation environment. So, si systems analyst, pwede siyang maging programmer, ganun. Pwede siyang maging database admin, more. So, analysts will encounter many types of technology. Kasi maraming nagpabago eh. Dati wala pang AWS, ngayon meron na. And AWS has basically grown a lot. Wala pang cloud dati, ano pa, mga shared hosting pa. Ang iba, wala pang mga masyadong front-end framework. So, we rely to basics of HTML, CSS. So, again, there's a lot of developments in the technology. Okay? The next, analysts will work in many locations. And analysts are assigned a variety of job titles. So, pwede silang again, sabi ko kanina, pwede programmer, database admin, server admin, many more. Ganyan. So, that's a journey of the environment of being a systems analyst. Okay? So, types of technology. So there's a wide range. So it can range from desktops to large-scale information systems. And a variety of computers are connected by complex networks. And again, so we continue talking about that. Technology's change is continuous, and innovation often drives information system change. So there should be regular upgrades of knowledge and the skills. So those things are essential. Okay? Dapat hindi tayo mapag-iiwanan ng panahon kasi matatalo tayo. Ganun. So typical job titles and places of employment. So again, yung sabi ko kanina, a systems analyst can be a programmer analyst, system liaison, software engineer, web developer, project manager. And yung work arrangements niya, pwedeng in-house, may consultancy, independent contracting, and representing application service provider. And just a few words about integrity and ethics. So sense of personal integrity and ethics are essential. So systems analysts, we often encounter personal information. And the analysts encounter lots of confidential proprietary information. And they must keep confidential and sensitive information private. Kahit isang mag-leak dyan, patay ang career mo. Kahit isa lang. Isang leak, isang breach, and no one would hire you ever again. And yan. That's what we need to prevent. So the analyst's role in strategic planning. So analysts may advise senior management on strategic issues. So yung problems may involve long-range planning. So the common forms of extracurricular activities are special projects, strategic planning, and enterprise resource planning. Yung special projects, so prototype executive information systems, and the business process engineering study. So the goal here is for us to raise the efficiency of the processes, and for activities, here we analyze the business processes. That's what you got to do first in your chosen companies. You analyze the business processes. Then you think of redesigning the business processes. Kung meron silang sistema na tingin nyo na mas nakakapagbagal ng sistema nila or tingin nyo it's very inefficient rather, you can redesign it. And here you also provide computer support for re-engineered processes. So information system strategic planning, so its purpose is for us to anticipate problems. So the large plan comprised of models and smaller plans. So organization model, we map business functions. So architecture plan, so we list integrated information systems, which includes the super system and the subsystems needed. Okay? So you need to have that one too. So ano yung mga subsystems kailangan nyo para sa inyong mga businesses. Then technology architecture plan, so we define the hardware to be used. So anong mga kailangan natin? So it will depend actually in the platform you're gonna develop. So it can be standalone, or you're gonna have web development, you can have mobile. So it depends on your technology that you've gotta choose. Then next, the communication networks. Okay? So for example, meron silang office. Do they need interconnections between the different computers? So for example, in that case, you may have a server, local server rather. Okay? Kung online naman, you can get the hosting. So dito na yun. So application architecture plan is a set of integrated information systems needed by an organization to carry out its business functions. And your technology architecture plan is a set of hardware, software, and communication networks required to implement all the planned systems. So enterprise resource planning. So ERP adopts integrated set of software packages. So yung benefit ng ERP systems is that it's a turnkey solution. So what do we mean by turnkey solution? So it's a solution in an instant. With a snap of the finger, bam, you have the solution. Kaya ako may example ng restaurant na business kanina. So a turnkey solution to their problem is basically to have SAP deployed to them. But again, what do we need to consider when presenting a solution? The cost. So mahal ang ERP systems. It would cost millions. And paano kung restaurant na yun is just a small scale business? Parang hindi naman practical na mag-invest sila ng ganun with their current state of business. Okay? So that's what we need to consider always, the cost. As you can see, the list of disadvantages of ERP is that it's complex, meaning kailangan pa ng training ng mga staff. If I say, let's say, kailangan ng 2-week training. So you need to pay sa mga trainers, sa mga pagkain, for example, sa venue, mga ganyan. You need to pay the fee for the training, which leads us to the next part. It's expensive. The training itself costs a lot. Paano pa yung bayad mo sa subscription mo nun? It would cost millions. And again, it is disruptive. Okay? So in the entire organization is involved in ERP, and the analyst plays a significant role in the ERP. So and the analyst is a systems developer. So this is the heart of the course. So the central theme is the planning and executing an information systems project. So text organized into 4 conceptual components. So part 1, so ito yung mga i-discuss natin. It's the systems development and the unified process. Then we have the business modeling and the requirements discipline. So we're gonna do some diagrams. We need to plot the use cases, yung mga domain class diagram. So as early as now, you can do some research kung ano yun. It's a design process. Okay, so we need to take note of the interactions of different use cases. Still the diagrams. And here, the implementation, the testing, and the deployment disciplines. So this is a summary of the whole lecture. So the systems analyst solves business problems with IS technology. Okay? So the analyst's chief role is to define requirements, design software, write code, complete extensive testing, and the broad skill set are the technical, business people. Writing code is just one piece of the puzzle. So it doesn't mean you automate the system, it solves a problem. And our approach to the systems development is a unified process. So I'm hoping that you've learned a lot through this lecture. And if there are questions or clarifications, just hit me up. Okay, so hope you learned something. So yeah, see ya.